Okay, just draw every day, you don't need much time, just practice and you will get better at art. I'm sure you have heard this piece of art advice before. But then when you actually try it, and no matter how much you draw, your art doesn't seem to improve. The progress feels super slow, or sometimes non-existent. And you start thinking, maybe it's me, maybe I just don't have talent. But let me tell you, maybe it's not you. Maybe you're just following art advice that's doing more harm than good. And today I will be sharing 5 reasons how it can be actually hurting you. So this video is going to be more like a podcast episode as I work on one of my pages. I will be doing coffee bean pattern illustration because I love coffee. Before we dive in, disclaimer, everything I'm sharing here is my personal opinion and it is based on my personal experience. It can be different for you. So let's go! Point number 1. It's never just 15 minutes. And sometimes you actually see it phrased as, just draw every day, it only takes a few minutes. And sometimes it's like not 15 minutes, but 30 minutes instead, but the core message is the same. So before drawing, I still have to decide what to draw. Gather my materials and gather my references, think about colors and composition and so on. And because I draw with markers, so I need to finish the entire sketch first before I can actually start using my medium. And this prep phase itself can easily take half an hour for me. And unless you're doing like very loose pen or pencil sketches or some doodles, 15 minutes just isn't enough. Sometimes 30 minutes isn't enough either. And I even followed, some tutorials which were supposed to be quick 15-minute sketches. And the result is it takes me twice as long as the artist in the video because I'm still learning and they are already comfortable, with what they draw, of course. So the expectation itself is very misleading in such cases. So it's never 15 minutes. Point number 2. It's unrealistic for many people. Okay, again, this is my personal experience. And this is what I observe with my friends or with colleagues. So if you have a job, if you're studying, right, you may have kids or you're caring for someone and you have chores on top. So it's just not realistic to expect to draw every single day. It's not like we have hours and hours of free time to dedicate to our hobbies every single day. And your hobby is supposed to bring you joy and help to relax. And forcing yourself to draw every day can turn your hobby into a chore. And I think that's a fast track to burnout. And again, I'm not saying we all should never just push ourselves, to grow our skills. But we don't need to tick a box every day to be an artist or to grow our skills or to enjoy. Number 3, it can reinforce mistakes. If you're just starting out or you're still learning, doing quick daily sketches without any kind of analysis or reflection, I think they can actually make your progress slower. You may be just repeating the same mistakes simply because you're rushing and you're doing it for the sake of checking a box. And this was definitely the case with me. And I do think that for me personally, growth comes with practice and proper analysis and proper reflection on what I'm doing and not just the repetition itself. Just because, for example, I draw every day for 15 or even 60 minutes, it will unlikely make me a better artist, unfortunately. My practice and my learning should be intentional and driven by a goal, and not just random sketches. Point number 4. It can lead to disappointment and boredom. Okay, let's say we're drawing daily and we want to improve. And we may be thinking, okay, I spent 8 hours drawing this month. Why don't I see improvement? And maybe I don't have talent. Maybe I'm not built for that. But if I'm doing the same thing every single day without changing my approach, without any exploration, without proper reflections, without proper guidance, why would the result change? So by the end of the day, let's say I spent the entire month doing this, right? And there is no result, right? And I think this is how people lose motivation and that excitement for art. And I can confirm this is exactly what happened to me. Also on a side note, why the heck do they always say, just draw something in your room, like a cup or a chair? I don't want to. It's boring. I don't want to draw chairs. And again, how many times do I need to draw my damn cup to grow as an artist? I don't even like drawing cups. I don't like watching someone drawing cups or chairs, for the matter, or sofas or any other kind of furniture. Yeah. Point number 5. Comparison is a thief of joy. And not only that, but also we might be comparing ourselves to experienced and professional artists. A lot of this advice I've heard comes from professional artists or from professional YouTubers who do art content for a living. So first, let's remember that we all are at a different stage in our artistic journey compared to those experienced professional artists. And secondly, creating art is their job. If we had as many hours a day to make art and also get paid doing that, I believe we'd definitely find time for it too. And while many people can dedicate time to art every day, for the majority of us, unfortunately, it's not the case, because creating art and learning art is this little activity that we do for fun, aside from our main job. In the end, I think it's about access to resources, and time is one of them. So these were my 5 reasons why I think this advice, like draw every day for 15 minutes, doesn't work for everyone. So let me know in the comments if you ever tried this approach where you would draw every single day. How did it go? What's your experience? Do you think you grew a lot as an artist during that period? And do you think you developed some new skills or, improved some of your skills? I'm really curious, again, if it's a me thing or are those just valid points? And now I want to show you one of my attempts, the draw for 15 minutes every day exercise. Just to prove that it doesn't really work for me, and if it doesn't work for one person, probably it doesn't work for some other people too. So here is one of my sketchbooks, and by the way, it wasn't even my first try to draw every day. And it says 2024, 2025, and how many pages do you think I filled? Yep, this is a sketchbook of shame. This many. It's not even a third of the book. And I decided to follow the advice, hey, just draw every day. Draw everyday things like cups, random objects that are around you, whatever, something that you see in your room. And let me tell you, it was boring as hell. And I was just following the same, recycled advice everyone just, throws around. And at first, I did come, with lots of energy, with lots of motivation, and already back then, I did try to make it more creative. I mixed my sketches with a bit of, journaling. The stickers are covering some private stuff, by the way. But even just after a few days, I started getting bored and skipping days. You see, so here I actually, do it every day, and then here there are a few days that are skipped, and then those breaks became bigger, those pauses became bigger. And I drew a cup 5 times. Did I learn anything? Nope. Did I get any better? Also nope. Did I like doing this? No. I don't know. And then the breaks, as you can see, they got longer, and eventually I just started doing occasional tutorials here and there instead of just, drawing for 15 minutes. And I started more intentional practices and sessions instead of daily sketches, just to keep things interesting, because this is what really, this is something I really enjoy. And then I just stopped. Not on purpose or anything, I just never picked it up again. And the sketchbook has been sitting on my shelf near my desk for almost a year now. So I can just grab it at any time and just start scribbling, but I just don't want to. And so to wrap it up, so, I would say my personal advice would be, instead of forcing daily drawing challenges, I just recommend finding a schedule that fits your real life. Sounds boring, sounds simple, but it works. So, and focus on intentional and thoughtful practice. And this is what I do. So, not just checking the I drew today box, but actually do something intentionally. I mean, it's great if this draw every day for 15 minutes thing works for some people. I'm not one of them. I'm not. And I learned that I do better with longer sessions where I can actually focus on my art and what I'm doing. So typically I draw a couple of times a week for at least an hour, and usually it's happening on weekends. Sometimes I do find time after work if I still have some energy, but typically it's not the case. And by the way, some weeks I just don't draw at all. Like if I'm not vibing with it, if I'm not feeling it, I just don't do it. And I know I said like, hey, be intentional and be thoughtful and reflect and analyze and blah blah, but you don't have to do it every single time. So sometimes I draw just for fun, but also, even if I draw just for fun, I often choose a topic and I do a bit of like research how to draw the stuff that I want to draw, and what colors I want to use. Are there any tutorials that could help me? And it doesn't have to be big, like a big commitment. It can be just as simple as like, I don't know, I want to, like, my recent thoughts, for example, I want to draw a pineapple. Never done this, okay? I want to first analyze, the shapes. I want to see what kind of colors I need. I want to see, like, hey, if there is any texture I need to deal with. I need to find good references. Maybe there is some kind of YouTube video or, like, I don't know, Pinterest tutorial about how to draw a pineapple. So I try to gather some materials and do some prep for that. And so the point of this video, have fun. Be intentional, do not turn your art into a chore, and don't waste time and energy, on art tips that don't really work for you. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope it was helpful, and may your markers never dry. Ciao!